like scheduling your day so that you're totally undisturbed during those hours in which you complete your best work, like setting certain hours each day to take appointments and phone calls. And that's really where the magic of personal development comes in, knowing who you are, becoming more valuable, being more valuable, knowing the value of your rhythms in getting certain tasks done, getting things done more efficiently in a shorter period of time, working smarter, not harder. Let me give you some more thoughts now on time management. Just a list of things you should consider. Number 1, you run the day or it runs you. Part of the key to time management is just staying in charge. But here's what usually happens. We start something and we're in control. But as time starts to unfold, pretty soon we start losing control. You know, you start a business and you're running it, and pretty soon, what? It's running you. You have to stop every once in a while and say, hold it, hold it. Who's in charge here? So here's a good phrase to jot down. Something will master, and something will serve. That's the nature of life. That's just how it goes on this spinning planet of ours. Something will master, and something will serve. And here's what you have to make sure you become. The master. You run the day. You run the business. You run the enterprise. You run the job. You stay in charge. Now here's how you can stay in charge. Have your written set of goals with you at all times. Then prioritize your goals and decide which is important. Then constantly review your goals. Then have your goals match up to a good written game plan. The game plan that we talked about earlier. The game plan that says, take it out of your head and put it down on paper. Then, with game plan in hand, try to separate the majors from the minors. The really important things from the things you just have to do. And prioritize. Is this a major day or a minor day? And adjust your time accordingly. Is this a major conversation or a minor conversation? A lot of people don't do well, and here's why. They major in minor things. They spend too much time on things that don't count, and too little time on things that should count. So you're about to pick up the phone and make a call. But before you do, decide, is this a major call? Is this a minor call? If it's a major call, it needs a little preparation. If it's a minor call, a few pleasantries will probably do. Hi, how are you? Tell a little joke, exchange some pleasantries. So a little evaluation will save you a lot of time. Major, minor. Next time management essential, don't mistake movement for achievement. You probably know some people around you who are just plain busy being busy. You've got to be busy being productive. It's easy to get faked out by being busy. Guy comes home at night, flops down in the easy chair, says, I've been going. But the real question is, doing what? I mean, it's the doing what. That's the real key, not the going. Some people are going, doing figure eights. They're not making much progress. Don't mistake movement for achievement. Evaluate the hours in your days and see if there's not a lot of wasted time in there that you could manage better. Do more with. The next key to good time management is good concentration. Focus. You've just got to zero in on the job at hand. Concentrate. Don't start your business day until you get to the business. I used to start my business day in the shower. I'm trying to compose a letter in the shower. The cobwebs haven't been cleared out yet. I'm not awake yet, and I'm trying to compose a letter. Found out it doesn't work. Wait till you get to the office to start your work. Wait until you get to work before you get to the work. Don't start your business day at the breakfast table. It's not good for the family. Here's another one. On the way to work, don't think about work. It's dangerous. There's a lot of cars out there on the highway. Can you imagine if everybody was driving to work thinking about work? It'd be a mess. Accidents everywhere. Here's what you've got to do. On the way to work, concentrate on the way. In the shower, concentrate on the shower. At the breakfast table, concentrate on the family. Wherever you are, be there. Don't be somewhere else. Give whatever you're doing the gift of attention. Give people the gift of attention. The gift of attention, concentration. Next time management essential, learn to say no. Boy, it's easy in a social society to just say yes, yes, yes too much, over-obligate yourself. Then it takes all those phone calls and all that time to back out of it and redo it. Don't say yes too quickly. Better to say, I don't know if I can make it, but I'll give you a call. Better to say you don't know than to say yes, yes, yes too quickly, trying to be nice and then having to back out. One of my colleagues has a good saying, don't let your mouth overload your back. Committing too soon, too quick. Being too eager to please. Appreciate yourself, your time, appreciate your own limits. Know when your commitment to someone else will end up taking time away from yourself and from your family. Have self-appreciation for your special time alone and with those you love and those who love you. This is especially important for charity work, volunteer work as well. A group of entrepreneurs I know have been very successful in their business, getting a lot of press. Pretty soon they're swamped with requests to do pro bono work, do their stuff for free. They must get a couple of offers a month to sit in on one charity board or another. But here's how they handle it. They take all requests, weigh them for time commitments, evaluate them for opportunities, then they take a collective vote on which two they'll accept during the next 12 months. You can't immediately say yes to offers that sound prestigious. You can't immediately say yes to social functions, things that sound like a lot of fun. You've got to say maybe and take time to evaluate what's an important contribution to society and what'll just take time away from your ambitions and your family. Be eager to please yourself and your family. Don't be so eager to please everybody else. Appreciate your own limits. You don't have to fill up every second of the day. Take time to appreciate what you've accomplished. Take time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Your success should be a pleasure. Appreciating what you've got and what you've done and who you've become is important. It's an important component in fueling your future achievements. Just knowing that you've accomplished in one day what you laid out in your game plan. Just knowing that you finished all you started out to do that day. That's encouraging. And it's these little daily advantages that you're gaining that continue to fuel your achievement. Let's say you're figuring out tomorrow's game plan tonight, and tomorrow looks pretty light. So all you write down for tomorrow is cleanup day. You know, clean up all the little notes on your desk. Write all the thank you notes you haven't gotten around to writing all week. Take care of a few phone calls that keep getting shuffled from one day to the next. Nothing major, just minor stuff. But nonetheless, little stuff that keeps nagging on you until you get it done. So you spend your day in a cleanup mode. You file the notes, write the thank you cards, make the phone calls. Not a major day, but at the end of the day, you feel you've accomplished so much. Why? Because you've taken care of so many little details. The little details that can make a major difference. You feel like you've really achieved something during this day that started out to be so minor. Little achievements are just as important as big achievements. Why? Because you can't appreciate the big achievements without first appreciating the little ones. Success is the constant process of working toward your goals, little achievement by little achievement. Little achievements produce big results. George Leonard, in his book Mastery, talks about enjoying the plateau. Enjoying the plateau. Now, this is an important point because so often we find ourselves racing to get ahead, thinking about our next achievement so much that we can't appreciate the time in between. Happiness is not in the getting. Happiness is in the becoming. Happiness is a universal quest. Happiness is a joy that most comes as a result of positive activity. It has a wide variety of meanings, a wide variety of interpretations. Happiness is both the joy of discovery and the joy of knowing. It's the result of an awareness of the full range of life, experiences, sounds, harmonies, dreams, goals. And it's the joy that comes from designing a life that practices the fine art of living well. Happiness is being able to explore all that life offers. Happiness is quite often found in having options. Options of doing what you want to instead of doing what you have to. The option of living where you want to instead of living where you have to. The option of looking like you want to instead of settling for what you have to. Happiness is receiving and sharing, reaping and bestowing. Happiness is found in taking time to enjoy what you've accomplished, in enjoying the plateau, in giving yourself credit when credit is due, in patting yourself on the back for a job well done. Happiness is here and now. Happiness isn't the end result. Happiness is part of the journey. There's an old saying that goes like this: the road to heaven is heaven. The happiness that you're searching for in the future must be found today. The success you're after in the future will only be found by working on it today. Success is the balance between the need for active achievement and the satisfaction in taking the time to acknowledge what you've already achieved. Take time to reflect while you're enjoying the plateau. And while you're reflecting back on your past accomplishments, think about something else. Think about the potential within you that's still untapped. Consider these two questions during your time of reflection. Number 1, what could I have achieved in the past had I been more diligent? Could I have been more disciplined, worked smarter instead of harder, said no more often to social functions, to community commitments? What could I have achieved in the past had I tried a little differently? Only you can answer this question. It's very personal. While you're reflecting and enjoying your plateau, all I'm asking is that you dig a little deeper and see if you can't be a bit more effective next time. Work a little smarter instead of a little harder. So that's question number 1. What could I have achieved in the past if I tried a little more diligently? Now here's number 2. How can I achieve more in the future? Well, if you take some quality time to thoughtfully answer question number 1, you'll probably have a clue as to what's needed in the future. Do you need to work more diligently? Do you need to be more disciplined? Do you need to work smarter instead of harder? Do you need to say no more often? Do you need to manage your time better? That's one of the keys to reflection. You can put down on paper what worked for you in the past and figure out ways to translate this information into the future. You can design your better future if you can learn from your past. You can face your future with more excitement, more anticipation, when you design a future worth getting excited about. You can see your future and have it pull you, but don't forget to appreciate yourself for what you have done so far, for what you have done today. Take a self-appreciation inventory. Ask yourself a few questions. Start with number 1. What have I achieved in the last 4 days, the last 2 weeks, the last 6 months, the last year, the last 10 years? What have I achieved during these time periods? Write it down. Take a self-appreciation inventory of all you've done and all you've accomplished and all you've become. Take inventory of yourself. Now compare this list to your goals. Have you accomplished all you set out to do in the last 4 days, 2 weeks, 6 months, 1 year, 10 years? Compare your list. Maybe you've been so busy trying to reach your goals that you haven't taken the time to sit back and reflect on where you've really been. Look back at your list and say, wow, I really have been through a lot. I really have learned a lot. Look what I've done. Look what I've become. I wasn't like this 10 years ago or even 1 year ago. Look at me. I'm doing okay. Building your ambition takes little steps. 1 step at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 week at a time. And it's like taking your family to a reunion where people haven't seen your kids for 6 months or even a year. They say, my, look how you've grown. Well, you know your kids have grown, but when you see them every day, it's hard to notice. So write down all your accomplishments and see where you've been and what you've done and who you've become. You'll say, oh, look how I've grown. And that's step 1 in taking a self-appreciation inventory. Now here's step 2. What could I have achieved that I didn't? Be honest now, this is your inventory. Nobody else has to see it. What could you have achieved over the last week, the last month, the last quarter, the last year? What could you have achieved that you didn't? Would a game plan have made a difference? Would your direction have made a difference? Would greater preparation have made a difference? Would more discipline have made a difference? In how you changed your habits, changed your life? Would time management have made a difference? Major time over minor time. Ask yourself, what could I have achieved that I didn't? Now take this 1 step further with number 3. What do I want to achieve in the next 4 days, the next 2 weeks, the next 6 months, over the next year, over the next 10 years? What do I want to achieve? Well, all this falls in line with your goals. What you could achieve has to fall in line with what you want to achieve. What you could do has to line up with what you want to do. And what you could become has to meet, what do I want to become? Everything affects everything. And through the proper disciplines, practiced every day, through the proper disciplines, the what could I do has to match up with what do I want to do. And here's number 4. What can I do to achieve this that I'm not doing now? What could I do to achieve my goals that I'm not doing now? What things do I need to work on that I'm not working on now? Remember, it's easy to do the disciplines, the little things every day, and it's easy not to. It's easy not to. Look back at the self-knowledge inventory that you took on side 3 of this program, the session on positive self-direction. Look back at the list you made of your 3 most important work-related goals. Look back at your list of the 3 most important personal and spiritual goals. How are you doing with these? Are you making progress a little each day, a little each day? Are you appreciative of the progress you've made so far? It's important that you take time out to acknowledge yourself, your achievements, what you've done so far, where you've come, who you've become. Self-appreciation is a stage in building ambition that takes a little more maturity, a greater resolve, knowing that you'll do it until you get it done, and taking the time out to acknowledge yourself for doing it. Self-appreciation comes from already being firmly set on the course of positive self-direction, being on the right track, having that wonderful blend of humility and self-esteem, knowing within yourself that you're accomplishing your goals, and knowing yourself enough and being confident in yourself enough to avoid needless bragging. Self-appreciation says that you admit there's room for improvement, knowing that you're on the right track, but admitting the need for continued growth, more books, more seminars, more skills, more disciplines, greater awareness, bigger vision. There's always more room to grow. There's always more knowledge to gain, always more skills to perfect. We're never done with the education process because education is part of the path to wealth. Education and learning is part of the path to health. Continued education can turn you around if you're headed in the wrong direction. We must never stop learning, growing, expanding. And we must never forget to take time to appreciate ourselves for what we've done in pursuit of what we want to become. So far in this series on the power of ambition, we've addressed a brief history of ambition in this great country of ours. And we've talked about the 6 steps of building our ambition. Before we go into how ambition affects our personal lives, let me just review the steps we've covered so far. Step 1, positive self-direction, knowing who you are and where you want to go with your life. Step 2 is self-reliance, taking responsibility for your own life and taking responsibility for all that happens in your life. Step 3, self-discipline, addressing ambition at the daily level, doing all you can every day, and doing it until you get there, knowing that the pain of discipline weighs ounces and the pain of regret weighs tons. Step 4 is self-enterprise, keeping your eyes and ears open at all times, being aware of opportunities around you, and being able to create opportunities that'll keep you on the road to success. Step 5 in building your ambition is working with others, learning how to effectively communicate with those around you, learning how to maximize your networking abilities, and learning to work with those who deserve it, not those who need it. And step 6 is self-appreciation, fueling your accomplishments tomorrow by acknowledging your successes today. Each of these 6 building blocks works together in creating energy, directing energy to fuel our ambitions. So as we talk now about ambition and how it affects our personal life, let's make sure to remember the building blocks that we've already discussed. Balancing your personal life with your professional life is key to making your ambition work for you. Home life, work life, they must work together. Making sure that what you're going for in your career complements your home life. Making sure that what goes on at home complements your career. One won't work well if the other doesn't. Lady gets into work early in the morning, is the last one to leave every night. This keeps going on week after week, month after month. Doesn't seem like she gets that much more accomplished than everyone else. Matter of fact, it seems like she's using the office to escape from home. Something's wrong here. Better fix it. Chances are that whatever's bothering her at home is affecting her work anyway. A guy's always late for work. Always takes off during the middle of the day to go home. There always seems to be some sort of emergency to tend to at home. He takes long breaks, leaves early to go home. He's not getting his work done in record time. He's not getting anything done at all. Chances are he's using the emergencies at home as an excuse to stay away from the job. If something's wrong at work, fix it, if you can, or look for your solution elsewhere. If something's wrong at home, fix it. If what's going on at home is the result of neglect, admit it and fix it. Pay greater attention. If you need to go to counseling, go to counseling. Talk with your minister. Talk with a trusted friend. But remember that whatever the problem is at home, it probably didn't happen overnight. So make sure to give it some time in the healing. Be patient. Now, there's a balance between work time and home time, professional time and personal time. They both have to be working well in order to maximize your ambition and maximize your potential. Problems at home affect work. Problems at work affect home. Even when things are going well in both areas, sometimes special circumstances call for the work time to take away from the home time. And if that's the case, make sure everybody at home knows when to expect the light at the end of the tunnel. And if that extra project is really taking away from the family, make sure your family knows that their time will be paid back with interest. Psychologists have found two major things that we as human beings get the most happiness and satisfaction from. Two things. Number one, our work, our contribution to society, our continued progress toward reaching our goals, our activity that generates our lifestyle, influence, power. And number two, love. The love we receive from our spouse, our children, our parents, our families, our friends. Knowing that one person or several people care about us, want to spend time with us. The professional goals that you've outlined for yourself take a lot of work. Your ambition takes a lot of work, discipline, skills, constant learning to improve yourself and develop yourself and improve your skills and develop your skills. You don't expect that your achievements will come to you on a silver platter. Working on the wish and the hope and the prayer philosophy? No. You know that your goals require constant attention and discipline every day. Or they'll what? They'll never come to you at all. You can't just come home at night after work, after a long day, and expect that your family life is growing just fine all by itself. You can't just expect that your personal life will grow and flourish without attention, without taking time to feed and water and weed out the bad stuff, the negative stuff that happens while you're away. No, creating the perfect personal life, family life, takes just as much attention as creating the perfect professional life. It takes love and nurturing and kindness and sincerity and caring. It takes all those things. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that happens today. People spend all their time, focus all their energy, give everything they've got. They give it all to the job. It can't work that way. Your family requires more than that. The investment we make in our personal relationships before they're put on paper is the investment we must continue to make. The more we give, the more we get. If you stop giving, guess what? You'll probably stop receiving, too. So keep your investment in relationships and family active. That's part of the good life. What good is a mansion on the hill if you've got no one to share it with? It's no good. What good is an investment portfolio worth millions if you've got no one to share it with? It's no good. What good is working so hard day after day, month after month, year after year, working until you accumulate everything you want, and in the meantime, your family left you? It's no good. It all loses its value. Life has to be balanced. Work hard, play hard. Work 6 days, take 1 day off. Work 3 months, take 1 week off. Life has to be balanced, or your lifestyle will suffer. Life without balance can cost your relationships. Life without balance can cost your health. Life without balance can cost your spirituality. Life without balance can cost your wealth. Happiness. Balance. Work on a balanced life. Work on balanced ambitions. If you're a believer, don't neglect it. Study and practice if you're a believer in spirituality. Nourish, study, and practice the art of spirituality. Because we learned before that the great destroyer of all of us is neglect. Starts like an infection, becomes a disease. One neglect leads to another, starts spinning out of control. Here's one thing to consider if you've neglected your spirituality, if you're a believer. Now, I'm not asking you to be a believer, but I'm asking that if you are a believer, do not neglect that part of your future. Study and practice as diligently as you study and practice ambition and parenting and skills and success in the marketplace. Faith helps sustain ambition. Here's what else plays an important role in your ambition: your physical side, your health. And here's some of the best advice I've got on the physical side. Ancient scripture says, treat your body like a temple. Excellent advice. Treat your body like a temple, meaning something you'd take extremely good care of. A temple, not a woodshed. No, a temple. And here's why. The mind and the body work together. You've got to have both functioning well. Here's one of the best ways I've come to look at it. Your body needs to be a good support system for the mind and the spirit. A good support system that can take you where you want to go, support you with strength and energy and power and vitality. Here's a major part of success: vitality. I'm telling you, some people don't do well simply because they don't feel well. Now, feeling well is a personal responsibility. By taking care of the temple, it's the only place you've got to live. Your physical body. Cherish it. Ancient scripture says this: sometimes the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. See, that's a sad combination, a willing spirit and a weak body. You can't think of a much more pitiful combination. You wake up in the morning and the mind says, let's go get 'em, and the body says, I can't even get out of bed. You now have to have a conversation with your body that says, that's the last time you're going to fail me. Give me the excuse that you can't get out of bed. I'll drive you to your knees to do push-ups until you're exhausted. I've got these plans for fortune and enterprise. And there's one thing I'm going to demand: a strong, unbelievably powerful support system. From now on, I'm going to have a support system that will take me wherever I want to go. Support me with power. Support me with vitality, strength, uniqueness, zest. Anything less than that, I will not settle for. I'm telling you, you've got to take care of this physical side because it's so important. Be conscious of self, of your support system. Be conscious of self, but not self-conscious. Don't work on it too much, more than you need to. You don't have to spend 6 hours a day to have a good support system. You don't have to. 30 minutes a day, 1 hour a day, and you can have a strong, healthy body. Exercise? You can do just a few simple things. Take the stairs instead of the elevator, unless you're on the 50th floor in New York. When you're looking for a parking space, don't look for the one that's right by the front door. Park a block away and get a little bit of exercise. But here's the best exercise program in the world.